Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this bonus edition of our 7 days of texture paste, which kind of turns it into 8 days. But I hadn't been planning this one, but something funny happened to me at the weekend. I'd finished filming all about texture paste and everything, and you know, we've been going through our days, and yesterday was our day in review. But on Saturday, today's Monday by the way, on Saturday a plasterer came to skim and plaster some plasterboard in for some work that we're having done. Anyway, I saw what he was using, and he was using this plasterboard tape. And I looked at it and I said, "Is that permanent sticky?" He said, "No, it's kind of like repositionable until you plaster over it, etc." And I said, "Oh, could I have some please?" He says, "Oh, you can have the roll when I've finished." And he said, what do you want it for?" And I said, "Well, I've got an idea." Now, my idea is this. That is going to work perfectly to make a mixed media background using texture paste. And I thought I would show you exactly what I mean. And I'm going to do it in real time, like we've done the texture paste last week. Everything that I do, I'm doing in front of your eyes so that you can see how you can do it at home, and that it is, you know, easy. It's not as messy as people make out. It doesn't have to be. You might get a little bit on your fingers, on your hands, but as long as everything's protected, you know, there's no reason you're not going to get it up the walls and on the skirting boards, etc. So I'm using a piece of scrap paper for a base, and then I'm just using craft masking tape. Now, it has to be craft masking tape. You don't want to be using decorator's masking tape because it's a little bit of a stronger fix on the decorator's masking tape. So I'm just going to the edge of my paper to stick it down on the scrap paper. So this comes in a great big roll, and what I've done is I've simply cut off 4 strips, and I'm going to position these across my cardstock like that. Press it down, and then the next one I'm just going to marry up the pattern a little bit. You know, it's not perfect. Some of it marries up, some of it doesn't. I'm not that fussed. It's a mixed media background. You could crisscross it. You could do so much with it. Don't be expecting that you're going to keep the strips afterwards, because you're not. You're just going to throw them away. Because even if you were to wash them, they'd lose the sticky, and with the amount that you get on the roll from any good builders merchants or DIY shops, not craft shops, because don't forget it's plasterboard tape. So now I've covered my base card with the tape. I'm going to use 2 colours of texture paste. I'm going to use bamboo and I'm going to use cerise as well. So I'm just I'm making it kind of regimental there, aren't I? Do you know what? I think we'll do one side bamboo and one side cerise. So I'm going to spread this. Remember the analogy, like Anne-Marie has butter on crumpets or toast. So spread it evenly over. There we go. And carry on down the next one. So we'll do half and half, I think. You could do an ombre effect. That would look really good. And last one. Take it down. Put the excess back in your pot. It doesn't matter if I'm not quite halfway. There we go. So, scrape the excess off. That looks quite good to me. And now we can swap colours. Don't forget we wipe our spatula because we don't want to cross-contaminate our colours. So there we go. Now we can go on to the cerise. And I'm going to start adding cerise at this side. Like that. And a little bit there and there. And then I can start spreading it all the way down. And then onto the next strip. And if you've got too much, you just put it back into your pot. I think we might just be about right. Because by the time we get to the centre, we're using two colours and we're going to contaminate it. So any extra that we don't need now, we can put back in the pot, like that. But from here, because it might just mix a little bit with that green, which we don't mind, but we can't save that now. Okay. So we can wipe that excess away. I think scrape that green over. Like that. Just so it's a little bit mixed when we take the tape off. There we go. And I'll just put the lid back on my texture paste, save it, and put that on properly. Okay, so now we've got texture paste all over our background. I can peel off the actual plasterboard tape. So I'm going to... Oh, look at that. There we go. I have got scrap kitchen roll here for my rubbish, so don't worry about that. I'm not just throwing it on the floor. So, peel this away. Oh, look at that texture. Now, I'm going to peel it all off and then I'm going to move the background onto a, a clean piece of paper for you to be able to see it properly. This looks awesome. Now I know you mixed media viewers, if you're feeling that way inclined, you might even keep the tape to use on a different project. So that's completely up to you, but for me that's now waste. And I know a lot of you don't like the waste, but there isn't really a lot you can do with that. You could maybe get like a double print from it going the other way, but I think that would be stepping truly into your mixed media edge there. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up, and I thought it was loose, but I don't think it is. Take my tape away. There we go. And I'm going to move that out the way. And we'll have a kitchen towel, I think, because that's handy. And that is our background. Now it's curling because it's wet, but it will dry flat. Look at that texture. How awesome is that? Now, just thinking about this, you could make like a cityscape or something like that. If you're really good with your texture paste, you could start and add colours in specific places, and you know, and if you have blue texture paste, or you mix your own blue texture paste, think about that for a water background, you know, for a swimming pool tiled effect. If you're going on holiday and you want to make a scrapbook and you've not got enough summer water paper, that would look awesome. It's got endless possibilities as this. And I know some of you might be sat there thinking, you know what, Anne-Marie, that's just a step too far using plasterboard tape. But some of you would be sat there thinking, scratching your head and thinking, wow, that's a good idea. I'm going to raid my husband or my wife's shed and see what they've got. But look at that effect. Wowzer. Like that. So that's an extra bonus episode for you for using your texture paste. I hadn't planned it. It just happened, as things sometimes do. And it's happened right at the perfect time for us to have an extra episode. So I'd just like to say, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you something to think about. The effect is awesome, and I know when that dries it will look even better. And if you can imagine, if you did it in white and then you inked it, or you used your mica powders, or you used gold spray on it, or it just will make your brain tick over a little bit more about things that you can use. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and back to normal for projects now. I shall see you next time.